Hey folks, this is Russell Longcore talking to you today about business. Now if you've come to this, you've already expressed an interest, or at least just by clicking, you've expressed an interest in having a business of your own, earning some money on the side, or in some way increasing your income. And that's the reason I'm here today. So I'm going to take some time and talk to you about business, just business in general, but most specifically about the communications business that I'm involved with through the company called Solavei, S-O-L-A-V-E-I. Let me tell you about it. But here's what I'm trying to get to today. I want to walk you down a path, because many folks that consider having a business, you've never had a business before. So how do you determine what's a good business? Most people just do it by word of mouth, or they see something, or they have a hobby that they want to turn into a business, or they have a great idea. But normally people don't go through a process that says what's a good business and what's not a good business, what's a good market in which to perform and what's not. And so what I'm going to try to do today is to take you down that path and show you the kinds of things that you have to think about if you're going to have a business of your own. Even if you started on a part-time basis, businesses have a tendency to grow if they're in the right marketplace. If you put a corn seed in fertile soil and water it, the chances are overwhelming that doggone thing's going to grow. But if you put it, in a rock bed, chances are probably not. So I want to run you down that thing today, and I guess if there's a title for this, it would be this: who wouldn't want a business like this? And so here's where we're going to start. When you start thinking about a business, having a business, you have to think about two things. Number one, what are you going to sell, and how are you going to sell it? And here are two of the things you need. Number one, you need a highly consumable, life essential product or service. Now, I know lots of folks that have started a business in their hobby. They think, oh, gee whiz, I like carving unicorns, and I'll bet you I could sell these things and make a bunch. Or I love to bowl. Maybe I could, sell bowling accessories. But if the best way to do it, the best way to have a business, is to have a highly consumable, life essential product or services. Let's talk about the first part. Highly consumable. Water is pretty highly consumable, and you've seen now over the last 10 or 15 years, 10 or 15 years ago, we would have laughed at somebody who said, go into the convenience store and buy me a bottle of water. You would have said, what do you mean? You can get it out of the fountain, or you can drink out of a hose. Water's for free. It isn't anymore, folks. It's a huge, huge business. And once you drink that water, you're going to have some more. So that's a highly consumable product. Now let's think about something that's not highly consumable. There is a product, and this is a little riddle. There is a product that you will have to have, but not in your lifetime. But the chances are good that if you're a traditional person, somebody's going to buy this for you at your death. What would that be? Yes, it's a casket, of course. Normally, people don't buy caskets for themselves. Now, I realize in the days of pre-planning and things like that some people do buy them, and some people do buy them, and they use them for coffee tables until such time as somebody puts them in it. Well, that's fine. And pre-need and all that kind of stuff, I'm not getting into that. The point is, that's a once in a non-lifetime purchase. Now, I don't think that being a funeral director or selling caskets is a growth business. Do you? I don't think so. So you want a highly consumable product, but you also want a life essential product. How about this? I haven't put bowling shoes on in probably 25 years. So even though you may have a bowling accessories website, for example, you can't talk to me. If you come to me, if you sent me something, if you encountered me on the street, if I was your best friend, and you said, man, pardon me, man, come to my website. I got all the bowling stuff you'd ever need. And I say to you, but I don't ever bowl. Now what are we going to talk about? Well, we're going to talk about the weather, or we're going to talk about sports team, or we're going to talk about how the Cowboys did last weekend. If it's a life essential service that everybody has to have and nobody can live without it, then it's something that's going to be consumed every day, and that's the best possible business to have in some kind of a product or service. Wouldn't you agree? And secondly, a large, growing, inelastic market need. Let's talk about those words. A large market need, that's great. Wouldn't you like to have a large market need? How about if you owned Apple and you owned the iPhone? Pretty large market need. What if you were a producer and manufacturer of long play vinyl records? Nobody's using them anymore, are they? So even if you were the largest one in the world, what would it matter? You've got a market need that has just disappeared over the last 20 years. Heck, CDs came and supplanted the LP, and now the CDs are even going away in favor of the MP3 and any kind of electronic music that you can get. So things come and things go. But the best way to have something is to have a large market need. I say large, growing market need, okay? Wouldn't you rather have something that's growing as opposed to something that is not growing? You can think of lots of things that have gone. Oh, let me give you an example. 20 years ago, I carried a pager. I can't even find pagers anymore. 20 years ago, the cell phone that 15 years ago, the cell phone that I had came in this big satchel. And it was a Motorola phone. And you took it and you put it on in your car, and you pulled out the cord and plugged it into the cigarette lighter and put up the antenna and hoped to hell you got some service. Okay, now every person from, gosh, I don't know, 10 years old to 100 years old has a cell phone. I said this to somebody the other day. 20 years ago, you could have counted on both hands the number of people that you knew that had a cell phone. You probably would have had one hand left. Okay, now, in 2012, think about all the people that you know from unless they're children, if they're 10 or older, try to figure out or think about how many of those people do not have a cell phone. And once again, you'll be back to one hand, because you probably won't be able to find anybody in your memory banks that does not have a cell phone. Communications is huge. So it is a market need. It's a large growing market need. It's going to continue to grow, but it's inelastic. And let me tell you what inelastic means. Inelastic means, well, elastic. What does elastic do? It stretches. Well, this is inelastic, which means it doesn't stretch. An inelastic market is one that stays pretty much steady all the time. Recession doesn't bother it. Boom doesn't bother it. I mean, boom will make it go more, but recession, it doesn't bother it much. It's inelastic, and you need a large, growing, inelastic market need. And in our particular business, the communications business through Solvay, one of the things that we have is mobile service. And our mobile service is this. Now get this. This is amazing. Unlimited talk, unlimited text, unlimited data, $49 a month, nationwide 4G coverage, no contract, no credit checks. How much better does it get than that? And the really cool thing about this is there's a compensation plan tied to it, so that if you become a member and you use Solvay as your mobile service provider and you start referring people who also purchase it, you make money. Now, there's no other company out there, folks, and you look this up. There's no other company out there that's providing mobile service that will allow you to refer other people to their service and they pay you a commission. Think about that. It's called social commerce, and it's built on social networking. Think about what you do every day. If you go to a restaurant and you enjoy it, you tell somebody, don't you? If you go to a restaurant and they serve you cold food with lousy service, what do? You usually don't keep it to yourself. Even the lousy service you tell people about. If you go to a movie and you love the movie, you tell all your friends. You're referring people to goods and services all the time. If Kroger's having a 10 for 10 sale, you might tell your friends to go up there and buy, 10 cans of corn for $10. We do this all of the time, but let me ask you the question. Out of all the things that we refer our friends and family and neighbors and Facebook and Twitter and everybody that we talk to, we tell people about stuff that we like and don't like. How many of those companies that we're showcasing send you a commission check when your friends or family or neighbors go to that business and spend money? Here's the number right here. It's 0. They don't. That's not the way that the world works, except in very unusual circumstances, this being one of them through Solevay. So you can actually earn money with your cell phone. You can turn your cell phone or your mobile phone, smartphone, whatever you want to call it, you can turn that thing into an ATM. It can be a cash machine for you if you do what Solevay, if you just do the things that you do now through the Solevay business plan. Number 3, ultralight startup costs. Now there are other businesses. There are network marketing businesses. There are traditional businesses. There are mom and pop stores, brick and mortar as they call them. And all of them have enormous upfront costs. Franchises, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, sometimes even millions of dollars it costs to get involved in a franchise. With the Solevay business, through communications, through using your cell phone and referring others, here's this again. You remember what we saw about this? This was a 0. Our business has a 0 upfront cost. Once you've switched your phone and gotten unlimited talk, text, and data, 4G network, no contract, at $49 a month, you're now eligible to refer everybody. And as those people come in and enroll themselves, you will start getting paid a monthly residual income when they pay their bills. Now, we talked about life essential product and service and a huge elastic market demand. Cell phones and communication is not going anywhere. There is a generation out there, ladies and gentlemen, and you may be one of those people who's never known anything but cell service. My youngest son, and both of my children that are older than him, Melissa and Russ Jr., they've never known what it means to have a landline. They've only had cell service. And my daughter's 40 and my son is 38. And my youngest son's 24. What would they do if they didn't have cell service? Do you think they're going to go back to AT&T or the local or regional carrier and get a landline? No. Are they going to use payphones? Try to find a payphone these days, folks. It's just about impossible to find a payphone because the use of mobile phones and smartphones is so widespread. So our ultralight startup cost is 0, but when you have a 0 startup cost, here's what you don't have as opposed to a traditional business. You don't have any of the following. You don't have to have capital to start this business. None. You just have to pay your $49 for your service and you're in business. You don't have to have good credit because we don't do credit checks and we don't do deposits. You just pay your bill and that's it. No credit checks and no deposits. Can you imagine? Can you imagine all the people that you know that may have a ding on their credit because they lost their job, can't find a job, got behind on their bills, all of a sudden, they got problems and they need money and they need to save money on their expenses. You can help them save money on their cell bills and help put money in their pocket, and their credit has nothing to do with this. It's a fabulous thing. One of the other things you don't have in our business is you don't have a lease because you don't have to go get a storefront. You can go to all the little places in town. You go drive up and down the strip malls and you'll see T-Mobile and Verizon and AT&T, all these stores out front and they've got a lease, and they've got first and month deposits, and they've got all kinds of all the expenses that a normal business would have. You can be in business in direct competition with them, and you don't have to do anything. All you need is this, your cell phone. That's all you need. And you don't even have to own a computer. Just have the ability to go someplace like a library and use their computer. It's amazing. One of the other things you don't need, you don't have to have. You don't have to have franchise fees. We talked about that before. You don't have to have utility deposits and monthly bills for your lease space, because you're working this out of your home, or even out of your apartment, out of your college dorm, out of your bedroom upstairs where your parents are downstairs. They're the ones that are paying your cell bill. You don't have to have a business license. Now, you ought to check with your own municipality wherever you live where you're seeing this, and just to make sure that you don't have to have a business license. But most of the time in America, when you have a business that you're operating out of your home, especially when it's part-time like this is, you don't have to have a business license. Your experience may vary. Check with your local municipality. But most of the time, don't have to have a business license. You don't have to have specialized insurance, business insurance, to do what we do in the communications business. It's not necessary. If you had a storefront or a brick and mortar store, you'd have to have a big insurance policy for your inventory and your business personal property and your liability. And if you had vehicles, they'd have to be on there, and all kinds of other stuff. You don't have to do that here. Next, you don't have to have equipment, display cases, phone systems, computers. None of that kind of stuff, none of that physical stuff do you have to start a business in Solevay. Amazing. And finally, you don't have to advertise. You can advertise, but we'll show you how to just do what you do now, which is to refer your friends, family, acquaintances, business associates, co-workers, people you don't know and people you do know. Just refer them. Here, look at this, a business card. Hand out a business card that has your website address on it and your telephone, and says, here's what mine says. Well, here, look at this. Got that? Unlimited talk, text, and data, $49 a month. Nationwide 4G coverage, no contract, no credit checks, no deposits. Turn your mobile phone into a cash machine, and then it lists my telephone number and my email address, and at the top, it lists my website. That's all you need, folks. Now, you can do a lot more than that, and I encourage you to do that, but that's all you need. Number 4, low overhead. Here's the number of overhead you need. Here's the number of dollars you need for overhead. 0. Now, you can spend as much as you want to promote your business, okay, but it's not necessary. Start out, for heaven's sakes, get your feet wet, get your feet underneath you, find equilibrium, and figure out what you're doing by just referring others to this wonderful business opportunity. And also, folks, this is a paperless business. This is one of the things that I am so excited about, is that I don't have to carry around a bunch of paper. I don't have to carry around a bunch of forms that people fill out to switch from one provider to another. It's all done online. It takes about 5 minutes. That's all. I love a paperless business. I can do business in the coffee shop with my phone or with my iPad. That's all I need. And I can do it sitting in my office, but I can do business any place. It's fabulous. But a paperless business means this: no receivables. You don't collect anything from anybody. You don't have to send bills. If you get 1,000 customers, you don't have to send out one bill. And if those 1,000 customers all get in arrears to Solevay, you don't have to go chase them. You don't have to do collections. You don't have payables. You know why you don't have payables? Because you don't have to buy any inventory. There's no inventory. Where would the inventory be for mobile minutes? First of all, we don't sell minutes. We sell an unlimited plan. So if there were minutes, what do you do with those? You don't. We don't have any of those kinds of things. It's just unbelievable, folks. You can earn tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in your Solvay social commerce business and never ask one person for $1. That's strong, folks. That's strong. If you don't feel like you're a salesperson and you would not feel comfortable asking people for money, you've come to the right place, because you'll never have to ask anybody for money here. Next, there's no inventory. You know, some people that are going to see this are going to be people that have been in sales organizations and specifically network marketing in the past. Network marketing runs kind of different in some companies, where you can get a higher commission if you have certain dollars worth of production in a month or in a certain period of time. So let's say, for example, and this is just an example, that you can get the highest commission that you could get at your network marketing company if you did $5,000 worth of product in a month. Okay, so you whip out your credit card and you stripe and you do that thing with the credit card, and you get $5,000 worth of product, and the UPS guy or the FedEx guy or somebody delivers that amount of product, whatever it may be, to your home. You put it in the garage. Now you got to sell it, and next month you got to do the same thing, or else you might revert. They might take away your big commission and put you back at a lower commission because you didn't make your $5,000. Now I know some folks in networking that have done that for months and months at a time, to the point where they had a garage full of product and they weren't selling it, and consequently they were garage qualified, but months later when they quit the business, they had to figure out what to do with all that stuff in the garage. They took it to yard sales and flea markets and gave it away at Christmas time. You know, I don't know about that. But they had to do something with this, or else they just threw the stuff away and said, oh, network marketing doesn't work. And for them, it didn't. You don't have any internal volume required in our business. That's important. For you folks that have been in sales, most of the time, if you're in a sales job, you got to hit a certain number just to stay there. And you'll never get into bonus if you're doing minimums. Well, in our company, through Solvay, through this commercial, for this social commerce system that they're creating, you don't have any internal volume required. You do as little or as much as you want, and you get paid commensurate with the amount of work that you put into it. And the great thing about this is that everything that we do is auto ship. Now, once again, for you folks that are in networking that are watching this, networking people love, especially if you got a product that you're trying to sell on a monthly basis, they love the idea of auto ship, because they don't have to put any inventory in their garage and then have somebody come over and get it, or them ship it out that way. It comes directly from the manufacturer. Folks, unlimited minutes come from T-Mobile for us, and the roaming is done through AT&T. We don't have any inventory. It's 100% auto ship when somebody makes a phone call, when somebody pulls up their browser on their smartphone and starts doing something, when somebody does a text to their friend. That's auto ship, and we have 100% auto ship. It's awesome. It's awesome. Next, you don't have any employees. You can build a business through Solvay of other people, other members that you've referred, and then that those members have referred, and that those members have referred. You can build it all over the United States, eventually in other countries, and never have one employee. Now, what's it mean to not have any employees? It means this: you don't have to pay payroll. I've always heard it said that you're not really an entrepreneur until you've made payroll out of your personal checking account. How would you like to do that? When the cash flow is not there, and have to make payroll by borrowing it from the bank, or taking out of your savings, or going and selling something so that you can pay the people that are working for you. You never have that heartache. That'll never keep you up at night in the Solvay business and the social commerce business that we have, because we don't have employees, no payroll. No employees means no sick days. It means no withholding. It means no workers' comp. You have no idea the burden that is on a business when they have employees and have to pay workers' comp. It's huge. Secondly, no OSHA. Uh, Business owners that are watching this understand OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health. Occupational Safety and Health Administration. Folks, if you're not familiar with it because you've not been involved in business or you've been an employee, OSHA will come into your business, and if you don't have certain things in place, or handrails, or paint your curb yellow, or those kinds of things, they will shut your business down until you comply. When you don't have employees, you don't have to worry about that. When you don't have a lease space, you don't have to worry about that. Next, no licensing, no chargebacks, no sales quotas. Let me talk about that a minute. No licensing. There are lots of businesses in which you've got to be licensed. Every insurance agent in America has to be licensed. Every adjuster has to be licensed. Every realtor has to be licensed. There's lots of businesses where you've got to go through a long training process. You've got to pass a test, and then every year you've got to get a certain number of continuing education credits just to keep your license, and that can be expensive. In my business, I have another business in insurance claims adjusting. I have to get 15 hours of training every year just to maintain my license. And my licensing for all the states that I'm in costs me a couple $1,000s a year. Now, that doesn't happen in the communications business. You don't have to be licensed anywhere. That's a huge advantage for the communications business. Next, no chargebacks. If you've ever been in a sales business where the sales or the commission from the sale was advanced to you or paid to you, and then the customer, for whatever reason, cancels the order or cancels their policy or dies or moves away or something where the money stops, there's something called a chargeback, and companies will deduct from your commissions the commissions they've already paid you if something bad happens. There are no chargebacks in our company because we pay you, the associate, we pay you when people pay their mobile phone bill. So there are no chargebacks. It's a wonderful thing, and for people that are in sales, this is huge. You have no idea the mental anguish that can come when you get a chargeback when you're expecting a bunch of money coming in. Salesman, do you remember this? You expect a certain amount of your check, and you look at the check when it comes and it's half or a tenth or something like that because you had chargebacks. Now what do? How do you make your house payment? How do you make the car payment? How do you give this money to mama so she can buy groceries? It's a heartache, and we don't have that here. Finally, no sales quotas. If you're in any kind of a sales organization, you are going to have some kind of a quota just to keep your job. In our business, this is your business. We don't have sales quotas. You can get as many sales as you want to, but you can get none, and it doesn't affect your status with our company. Number 8, of all of the things that we've talked about, who wouldn't want a business like this? Who wouldn't want a business that had no territorial or geographic restrictions? Solvay does business all over the United States, in all 50 states. They have a 4G for their mobile service. They have a 4G network through T-Mobile that is second to none. I have an iPhone. My iPhone works perfectly well on the T-Mobile system in 4G. I have no problems whatsoever. I love the coverage. I've never had a situation where I could not get a signal with my iPhone on the Solvay system. It's a huge benefit to not have any kind of a territorial or geographic restriction. Folks, if you know somebody in Hawaii, or you know somebody let me say it, from Maine, Maine, because I'm thinking backwards, from Maui to Maine and everything in between, you can do business if you're a Solvay member. Think about that. All 50 states, no restrictions, no territorial or geographic restrictions whatsoever. You can talk to anybody. And soon we'll be in other countries. We'll be in Canada. We'll be overseas doing the same thing. How would you like to be in a situation where you could travel for business with your Solvay business and go to another place and help set up over there? That would be tremendous. Number 9, who wouldn't want a business that's highly duplicatable? You see, in our situation, we are totally duplicatable. The network marketing model is all about duplication. You are teaching others to teach others, who in turn teach others. And why do they do that? Are they doing that so that they'll enhance your business? No. They've got the identical opportunity that you have. Consequently, when those people are promoting their business, whose business are they promoting? That's a stupid question. But they're not promoting yours, they're promoting theirs. And by promoting theirs, you'll be enriched also. But it's duplicatability that makes that possible. Ladies and gentlemen, I can teach an 8-year-old to do our business. But when it comes to duplication, I'm going to submit to you that if it's too complicated for an 8-year-old to explain our business and show somebody else how to do it and then go ahead and do it, it's too complicated. And so I submit to you today that the reason that this is so successful is that it's duplicatable because I can teach a child to do our business. It's that simple. It's not easy, but it's certainly that simple. Next, this generates monthly income just like the incumbents. Think about all of the other cell phone providers. Cell phone providers normally send out monthly bills. Would you agree? And so consequently, a company like AT&T or Verizon or Sprint or choose one, doesn't matter, they make, let's say, 1/12 of their income and 1/12 of their profit every month. Because 12 bills each one is 1/12, right? So that's how they get paid. That's where their profit comes from. Well, folks, we pay just the same as the big boys do in this regard. Every month when your customers pay their cell bill, you're going to get a little commission. Now, you'll have to see the compensation plan for more details, and that's on another video. You can find that video here. But when those people make their cell phone bill payments, they're going to, the company is going to pay you a commission every month. And it grows and grows and grows depending on how many associates you have and how many customers you have. So it's entirely up to you. Next, it's almost recession proof. Folks, do you realize, excuse me, do you realize, pardon me, that the cell phone business is growing and growing and growing, is going to continue to grow? Do you realize that mobile talk and text and data is not going to go away? That as the population of the United States grows, so will grow the need for communications? Do you realize that there's a gigantic chunk of our country that has disconnected their home phones, the landlines, and the only thing that they have is this? Do you realize that? Folks, this ain't going away. I use ain't, and you may say, oh my gosh, you used ain't. Don't think about it. Oh, it's kind of like saying don't think about a pink elephant. Gotcha. But this is not going to go away. This is a recession-proof business. Everybody uses their cell phone every day. They're not going to voluntarily give it up or voluntarily relinquish their cell phone because there's not much of an alternative if they want to be in communication with other people. That's going to be the case whether we're in a recession or whether we're not. Think about this question. Did you pay your cell phone bill last month? How many years have you been paying a cell phone bill? I've been paying a cell phone bill for 16 years. 16. I've been paying utility bills since I was 18 years old. And the reason why is because I had to. I wanted to live inside. Well, in this situation, I started back then paying for landline bills. So I've been paying, for almost 40 years. Well, 40 and 18, 48. I've been paying a lot longer than that. My point is, it's recession proof. I've paid all that time. You've paid all your life, your utility bills and your phone bill. It's just a different way of talking to people now, but it's recession proof. How many other businesses do you know? How many other businesses could you even consider that could legitimately tell you that they are recession proof? If you find one, call me and let me know. And finally, we have a proven system of success. Folks, this works. Referring people to others and making a commission is an old system. Network marketing has been around 50 years now. Direct sales has been around since people could offer something to you. Here, buy this from me. That's direct sales. It works. Referrals work. All you have to do is work it. You have to answer the question, do I want to work it? Do I want to make income from this? Solevay stands ready today, ladies and gentlemen, to enrich you in ways you've never been enriched before. And I'll send you to solevay.com/RussLongcore1. That's SOLAVEI.com/R Longcore, LONGCORE, and the number 1. Go there and just look around. You can't break my website. Go look at things. Go look at the videos that are there. Go do your investigation. Do what's called in business your due diligence. Don't jump into something because I'm talking about it. Jump into it because you've done your investigation, you've done your research, and you know that it makes sense for you. This may not make sense for you. It might only make sense for you to be a customer, and you don't want to try and make any money with it. That's fine. I want to have lots of customers just like you. But if you do want to join us as a member and earn money from this, then the time is now. The company has just started. They kicked off nationally on September 21st of this year, and in the first 7 weeks have put in over 60,000 people nationwide. It's a movement, and it's growing virally. Let us show you how to make money with this. Let us show you that this opportunity in the communications field, in social commerce, which is a new term you may not have heard before, but social commerce is the wave of the future, and we can show you how to make money in it. Folks, join us, www.solevay.com, SOLAVEI.com/R Longcore. That's RLONGCORE, then the number 1. Thanks for watching. Good luck to you, and I hope to see you at the bank. Bye-bye.